Hey Pris, it's so good to be in the office again.
Is it?
It is, right?
I mean, it's so good to be alive. Full stop.
I can't top that. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad to be out of the office because all that time at home alone was just torture. But
Uh-huh.
do you wanna know what I did at home?
Ooh, alone? Something you did alone
Don't
at
be
home?
like this. Yes, I did it alone.
And
all
at night,
by
right?
myself.
At night, right?
Yes, at
I
night.
saw the timestamp. It was like 10
Yeah, fine,
PM.
fine. So you wanna hear? Do you wanna hear something that I did alone at home at night?
Yeah.
Okay,
Who
okay.
doesn't?
So bad at saving, too broke for rental. This cost of living is driving me mental. Wanna move out, get away from parentals. Don't forget to invest. I'm feeling stressed. Cause what if I can't retire? I'll probably just expire. Can someone give me an answer? And keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. You liked
You-
it?
Beautiful.
Thank
it
you.
was worth all the time spent at home alone at night,
Thank you. Yes.
working hard.
Yes. To feel so that we would feel brand new in season 2. Okay.
Yes, I love it. So I freaking love it.
Thank you so much. And
Yes.
I guess now is the time where we stop talking to each other and start the episode properly.
Yes.
Welcome to the first episode in our new series called P.S. I Love Money, where P stands for Pris and S stands for, that's right, soap. In this series of episodes, Pris and myself will get up close and personal and talk about everything related to personal finance. That's right, it's just the two of us. So this season, we'll be focusing on the topic of mental health and how it affects our relationship with money. So stay tuned for upcoming episodes after this one. So, Pris, hi.
Hi, Soap.
What are we going to talk about today?
Oh, today is something very special.
How special?
We have the CEO of Golden Equator here with us. Yes, celebrity.
Why have we invited our CEO here, Pris?
So she will be talking to us about being a woman in like the financial industry and like how she took her first steps into investing and like how as women how can we approach investing.
Right. I think that's very important, right? Because women tend to be more,
Like conservative.
Yes.
Not conservative, that's the wrong word. Reserved or like more
more hesitant about
risk
investing
adverse, yeah.
as compared to our male counterpart. That's kind of the general sense,
Yes.
the trend that we've noticed. So, instead of just, talking everyone's ears off, maybe we should let our CEO, Shirley, do a quick little intro about herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Soap and Pris. Thank you for having me here.
Glad to have you here.
I'm very
yeah.
excited to join this program and to share a little bit about, my experience with investment and I guess what started and how I started investment and how did the journey go. It's still a learning process for me today.
Right.
And well, I guess I've gone through 20 years of it, and there are some notes that I've taken that might be useful for recap for myself and also for both of you and the audience.
Nice.
So Shirley, at what age do you start to get into investing? Like what triggered you into be like, oh, I need to be more financially woke?
Right. So actually, I was an economics major in school, and during my college and university day, I studied like accounting, management, economics, and a lot of them are like concepts and theories. So really getting your hands into investment and understanding how to do investment was not something that come naturally because of my academic discipline, even though it sounds like it should be, right? And I picked up, I think, my first ever investment investing in stocks. So yeah, knowing that I was going to come on the Simple Sum show, I actually went to dig out what was my first trade done. So like the very first stock that I bought, my first investment was 2001, and that was the Singapore Airlines shares. During that time, it was like $8 plus.
Boo.
And yeah, and it's not like one share. You have to buy 1,000 share one lot, which is like the minimal, right?
Just FYI, today the minimum number of shares a person can buy is no longer 1,000 but only 100 shares.
And to buy one lot of shares at 8,000 plus, and
That's
I just
a lot.
wanted to have a little bit of success in your first investment. And so like when it went up a little bit, then I just decided to take profit.
Yep.
So Singapore Airlines shares, if you have not done anything in between 2001 till now, which is a super abnormal condition, is currently at $3.60. But in between, it has also reached a high of $20 at some point.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's like a 100% increased profit. More than
Yes.
100%.
Yes. I can't do math, but you're probably right.
Yeah, so 2001, if you have held it all the way to maybe 08, 09 kind of timing before the crash, it reached a high of $20. And then now, because of this, very COVID-related kind of situation, it's back down to $3.60. So, of course, we talk about shares being a long-term investment. There is still the need to monitor based on the global climate, based on the company's performance, based on information that you can get publicly as best as possible, and that takes time and knowledge behind that. Yeah, so that was my first journey in investing in stocks. I didn't go into bonds because the ticket size was just too high, including mutual funds as well. And the other instruments were not, the information was not as readily available as, investing into a share, right? And a stock. And what else is better than a brand that you already know?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Right here at home. I think that was a very comfortable point for me.
So how much was the first amount of money that you put into the stocks?
8,200.
Oh,
1,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
One
minimum is
One lot.
One lot.
And one lot is 1,000 shares.
Wow.
Do you have that money, Pris?
Not right now. Not right now.
I can open my piggy bank. You open your piggy bank.
I think we might be. I think maybe you can buy now.
maybe
now.
possible,
Not then.
possible.
Not then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now one lot will be 3,600 or 3,700
Yeah.
plus some fees in between.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm.
Pris, later we'll
Later.
check,
Later.
okay? Yeah. Okay.
Later.
After this. You mentioned something just now about how I think information back then was not that readily available,
Mhm.
but now of course it's a totally different kind of situation because you have all these websites, the internet, Seedly, the Simple Sum, haha. Yeah. But are women still quite deterred from dipping their feet into investing?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean, I only can say personally for myself, yes.
Yeah.
And also like friends, my group of friends as
Mm.
well. We don't discuss stocks.
Yeah, but the information is there. So I'm just wondering out loud, why does it seem like, women are still quite hesitant about, getting into it? And don't look at me like that.
I think it just seems intimidating, I remember, I think it's because in my mind when I was growing up, my dad took on the role of I bring in more money, I bring in the majority of the finances, so I am the one that's in charge of being the financial guru, I'm the one in charge of making sure we have enough money. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's probably not for me, cause I'm not a guy, so don't think that I expected myself to take on that role. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That
So
makes sense.
That's just my own experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shirley, what are your thoughts about this?
I believe you are largely right in that sense, because when I grew up, the format at home is pretty much the same as well,
Mhm.
The man is the single sole breadwinner in the house, and then they bring in the money and they'll be in charge of the money, and the women will be in charge of the budget, given a sum of money, how to spend it,
Yep.
how to ensure that the spending is aligned to what you have received. and to keep control of that, basically. Yeah, and then anything else goes to the man being the decision maker. But I think fast forward now, 30 years later or 40 years later compared to our parents' generation, the climate has definitely changed, right? Because there's more opportunities for women to be out there in the workforce, and more women are out there in the workforce. We can work in different format, including working from home, just because technology has allowed us to do that. Like these days, like for example, social commerce is very, very big, right?
Yeah.
So you can see even an auntie who's trying to sell something online, because she has learned about technology. You can see young people selling cosmetics and makeup online, because technology has enabled people to be able to work from anywhere. New jobs are being created, and some of these jobs are very suited for women to be able to promote them. So the income level has gone up. With the income level going up, then the next step is, what do we do with this income, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like we want to know what all the stay-at-home mothers do with that money they get from selling $50 brownies during circuit breaker. How dare you charge $50 for brownies?
People have to make a living, Prince.
Without ship, like the delivery is $50.
Okay, I feel like this is getting a bit personal.
I wanted the brownies, that's it. But I didn't have $50.
On that note, I read that women tend to save their money like just in cash instead of investing.
Because I think to us, like, okay, to me at least, like without any knowledge of investing, saving in cash feels safer than investing it. You know what I mean? Because it's like you can feel it, you can touch it. Whereas if I put it into investment, I'll be like, is it gone? Like, am I gonna save? Am I losing money like right this second? Yeah, it's just doesn't feel safe when you know nothing about it.
I think there's a knowledge gap.
Yeah,
have
to
definitely.
So I would say that if there are more and more communities that is deliberately formed to help, not just women but in general young people to learn more about investments or to learn more about savings and budgeting, because the more we save or the earlier we save, in the long run the returns will be exponentially a lot bigger. Yeah, so I mean, statistically speaking, that's true, and that's the reality, right? So the difference between you starting to save at 22 versus at the age of 32 you start saving, what you can get like when you're age 60 is a vast difference. It could be 2 times the amount actually, even though it's just 10 years difference. Yeah, so that's the first part on saving portion. When should we start saving, right? In a very disciplined way. Then the second part is, with the savings, should I start to invest into something? Yeah, and I would say that because the finance world is so broad, the financial instrument is so broad as well. Even though I'm in the finance field, I wouldn't say that I can be an expert in all area. And for I think regular investor, the important thing is not about being an expert in a particular area, but having the confidence to make the right decision. And the right decision is maybe you go with investing in stocks as a decision, and your journey is to learn more and more about it, or speak with expert who is into that. Or do you go for professional by investing in a fund or index, or do you bring together a group of people and then on a regular basis you discuss what to do, so that you have a community of confidence, right? And even if you're wrong, you learn something together. If you're right, you can like celebrate and enjoy together. So that confidence to speak about it openly, like in a close-knitted community, is probably quite important.
Out of curiosity, did you have like that community? Did you have like other friends? Actually, I wanted to ask, did you have like other female friends who were also investing around the same time as you?
Yeah. No, actually it was a very, I would say it was a difficult journey because you have no one to talk to. But you know from reading, things that we should learn and start to invest, because that is kind of like the right thing to do, right? In the long run. So there's no one that you really can speak with, but because of my work then, I started off my career with American Express as a marketing personnel, and then during that period of time, banking was a very attractive industry, and a lot of graduates in the finance industry would like to go into banking, be a private banker or be a personal banker, and that was of course the route that I took. So I went into this domain area, and then I picked up the knowledge along the way, and which is why my community is with people who get to speak about investment, different kind of products on a regular basis. So you picked up those investment knowledge along the way, and those experience along the way as well, and you just get better and better at it. Or more confident at it, I would say. So it was scary initially, and you just have no one to talk to, and I wish like young people get to have people to discuss with, to talk about. At the end of the day, it is hopefully we get it right more than wrong most of the time, but it is also about building that confidence, which is more important.
I think it'll be good to have like peers that are also doing the same thing you are, investing.
Talk to me, so.
Huh? Talk to me. I talk to you every day, man. I talk to you more.
Maybe you all can start a community of people who are interested in discussing about investment as a topic.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a difference between discussing and then like I feel like people in the finance industry like a bit intense sometimes.
Yes. I've noticed like some some FB groups. Some personal finance groups.
Not gonna name what FB group, but some.
But I mean, it's not really the fault of the person who created that.
Yeah, obviously.
It's just that the people there seem to be very. If they already have the knowledge, they are very aggressive about it, and it's to me at least it's very intimidating.
I think because money is very polarizing, right? Everyone has their own opinion of like what works best, but then their method might not work for me, so like
it'd be good to like have somebody on the same level to be like, hey, what do you think of this and that?
Then you can be noobs together. Like maybe someone is like slightly less noob, so that you're not the blind leading the blind,
So I tend to agree that you should have a group of people who is around the same level of learning. Learning and gaining that experience together. But you should always have somebody that is also kind of like an expert, a domain area expert, so that you are not misguided and it can be steered in the right direction in terms of knowledge, at least, right? So that's quite important. The earlier you start is a lifelong skill that you will keep, that is very valuable and useful for the rest of your life. So the earlier you start to accumulate those knowledge, the better you will be over time. And I would say that exactly like what Pris said, there's no like one size fit all kind of approach. So I will compare like learning investment or investing or savings and all that, right, as like us wanting to lose weight. Women always no matter how slim, we always think about wanting to lose weight. And there are so many different formula out there. There's your ketogenic diet, there's your intermittent fasting, there's your no carbs diet, there's plant-based. It works for some, but it's not like plant-based diet would fit every single one out there, and it would definitely work, right? And I think we will eventually find that sweet spot that we're comfortable with and we're familiar with. So if intermittent fasting work for you in the long run because you've tried it, then it's something that you will continuously improve on and learn more about it, because that amongst all the different diet that I've tried, this one works kind of like works best, right? So it's like, maybe like out all that I've learned, I think investing into stocks, for example, or maybe Singapore stocks, for example, or maybe fits me best. I'm just gonna choose that field that I have intense knowledge and follow and track closely as a beginning or as a start.
Can you imagine if like I wanted to go plant-based diet just to lose weight, and then I just eat Oreos? I'm like, why am I gaining weight?
How are Oreos plant-based?
They're vegan.
Wait, what? Oreos are vegan?
Really?
Yes, they're vegan.
What the heck?
Guys, this does not open a door for you to just gorge on like Oreos.
Well,
Yes, they are vegan.
oh, today I learned.
Yeah,
Okay,
today
Oreos
you
are-
learned.
Wow,
Okay.
it's a new knowledge for me as well.
Yeah. What in the world?
No milk, nothing.
Huh? But wait, no. But then they always dip the Oreo into the milk.
That's your own that's your own prerogative.
Fine.
Actually, I just wanted to ask. I don't want to make this a gender thing, but then I'm just curious. As a woman, when you first started studying, like what drew you to the financial industry, or was it just an attractive industry at the time?
I would say that during my time when I graduated,
Yeah.
it was one of the most attractive industry. Yeah, so that's
Right.
one. So
Yeah.
industry wise in Singapore, it was attractive. And then second, because you always want to seek some form of financial freedom, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go into an industry that has the best potential at that time. And because of my academic discipline as well, that it seems like a natural route to go into that industry.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was the decision making thought process.
Right.
And then when you get into it, then you see, whether you can excel in it, whether you can learn very quickly, and whether you perform well in it. And yeah, that's how I got into it and became more and more experienced over time, I would say.
Right. Was it like a male dominated?
Yeah, I had the
I
same
knew it.
question.
I knew
I had the same question because I don't know why my impression of the industry even now is very male dominated.
I mean,
Yeah.
8 out of 10 financial advisors I meet are guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
The-
not my impression is not stats. It's not based on data. It's just my feelings.
and my personal experience
Yeah.
as well with
Yeah.
financial advisors and stuff. Yeah.
So I believe media has frequently placed it out there in a way that this industry is a male dominated
Yeah.
industry, right? But finance is very broad. So there is like corporate and investment bank, there is, which is very very male dominated. And within that there's also like M&A related kind of activities. Again, it's very male dominated. Your top executives in banks are also quite male dominated. Personal banking and investment advisory or insurance, these categories, I think the weightage is a lot more balanced. Yeah, which means that actually women are pretty good advisors, right? Because they receive the knowledge,
Right.
that you learn from you learn from the financial institution, or you learn from on the job, and then with that knowledge you're able to advise and provide that knowledge to another individual, or share that knowledge so that they can help the clients make decision. So I think that on that part, women does it very well, which is back to what we're discussing, right? Having, how do we learn the knowledge and how do we share the knowledge? I think the women community do that very well. Yeah, and they're able to pass on the knowledge very well. So I was doing a bit of relief teaching before joining the workforce, or during my semester break I would do relief teaching. So it has taught me the skill of teaching.
Yeah.
Explaining something, ensuring that the explanation is clear, is well understood, and is received in its best form. And when people receive those knowledge in clarity, then your task is to make the decision, because no one can make that decision for you, but at least you receive those information well. So do I agree that it is a male dominated industry in some areas, and on an overall average for the whole financial industry? Yes. If it's traders, is male dominated, very aggressive, very loud, and it can be very chaotic as well.
I'm just imagining all the movies like buy, sell, buy, sell.
Wolf of Wall Street. The floor just filled with guys yelling at each other.
Then you have to pick up the phone, buy.
Exactly. But advising investment, teaching investment, and then after that you make a decision. It's a very balanced industry, I would say. Yeah, there's a lot of female in the industry. There's a lot of female leaders in the industry as well.
Right.
Yeah, and I would say that in many instances I've seen these female advising with a lot of patience, teaching with a lot of guidance. And helping individual make decisions with a lot of clarity as well.
Man, I need to meet all these women. Because I'm no for like the advice for the advice.
Weird.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to say that I think I think personally I want to see more of these like communities, become more accessible, like with like more women lah,
Like women supporting women.
Yeah, because I do agree that I mean in my studies also historically people talk about like how women tend to use more, like they're better at communication because historically they're put in the roles of like caregivers. So when they teach, it comes across as like you said, a lot of clarity and stuff, because mostly they're raising kids historically. Now we're in an age of equality.
The genes follow through in terms of the nurturing part of things.
Yeah, and I mean, don't you think it would be cool to see like a women-centric financial community?
Isn't that out there? Not enough?
Personally, have you
I've not seen any.
Not yet.
But if you guys know of any, please drop us a DM.
Yeah, just tell us that, hey, you stupid or what? Like, it's been here for years.
We need to meet these women.
Yeah.
that's it, full stop.
I'm also curious to know.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like curious to know if there are communities like this, would it attract young women who's just starting out, right? Just learning, and on the journey of learning, where do they go to, right? To get to learn and to build those confidence in investment. So yeah, it would be a very, very good initiative.
Yeah, and you can't take it for granted that every woman in the world will eventually find a boyfriend that she can depend on to get into investing. Some girls want to be single all their lives, maybe.
Yeah, no, but the thing is like, why should you depend on like meeting that someone to start your financial journey? I also like to say this, right? I always like to say, oh, I can't wait to be a tai tai and like
I've
go
heard this more than once.
to high tea and like I can just chill, and then my rich husband make all the money. And we need to stop this narrative.
Talking to yourself, Pris.
Pris, you need to stop this narrative.
Yeah.
But it will be a very strong value add as a as a wife, as a rich Tai wife, to be able to provide.
You're right.
Yeah, to provide that kind of investment kind of
worlds.
sharing. Yes. Yeah.
Ooh.
And then
You all
there's
can see her
a
face right now.
Like, oh, I can be a Tai and invest. Like, oh, independent.
yeah, it keeps your mind active all the time because you get to understand what's out there in the industry. You get to make the investment decisions.
It's gonna be the modern day mahjong. Hey, that one got support groups also, okay? Like group
Mahjong got support group. Then investing for women.
because mahjong you need 4 people, what?
Uh-huh.
So it's like you still discuss about mahjong.
Oh. Okay, but I don't play.
Mahjong group, but investing.
Anyway. Where were we? Before we went off into Mahjong land. I have a question for you, Shirley, about like your investing style. Okay, so would you call yourself like a more active investor, more adventurous, or are you more of like passive, conservative, or you're like somewhere in between?
I would say that I have different pockets of money for different style of investing. There are some funds is like to me it's a mimosa fund, like touch me not.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Yeah, I was like,
mimosas. My freaking alcoholic mind. I was thinking about mimosas,
Yeah, I was
like drinking.
This is about alcohol.
I guess that's the adventurous fun.
Okay.
So
touch
that's
me
the
not.
fund that is just in the savings account. No matter how little interest it earns, it's just gonna be there.
Right.
Almost like your emergency fund, right? Kind of thing. And then there's some pockets of it that would largely be a little bit more aggressive and adventurous, I would say. I seldom have a very small percentage in the like moderate and in between kind of space, but that's just me.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the other fund called the Touch Me Please fund.
God, please.
I'll think of the other. I'll think of another plant name.
I feel like mimosas are shouting, touch me please.
Maybe that's just you, man.
It's true because every time like you see a mimosa plant, you actually do want to go and touch it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Because it says don't touch. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I am.
Wow.
That
okay.
is what it's supposed to be. You're very tempted to go and touch it because you always want to
Yeah,
go and
it's
use it, right?
true.
But you're
Right.
not supposed to.
Yeah. So that's why you have another mimosa plant.
That one can touch.
Yeah, that one is like, please touch me.
Yeah, so I think it's always good to have different pockets for different, purpose and use. Never too good to put everything into something that is very aggressive. If you're very conservative all the time, especially in this current time and age where globally, the central banks are printing money. So there'll be more money floating around and inflation is going to get crazy and things
Yep.
are probably going to get more expensive. Money value has lesser value, right? So you need to start to put the money into good works and to ensure that you grow together with the inflation. So I think that's like the current condition kind of a decision making thought process, which is what I take as well.
So to wrap things up, what would you tell your younger self if you could travel back in time? What would you tell yourself?
Like about investing, right? Not in general, right?
I mean, in general,
specify,
I mean,
please.
if you wanna like tell some juicy secrets, it's also good.
Okay, but for now,
I'll leave that for the juicy secret episode.
Oh,
Okay,
juicy.
you heard
We're
it here
gonna-
first, people. Juicy secret episode.
That's gonna be
coming
the
soon.
title, juicy secret
That's
episode.
right. No context, just juicy secret.
To your own imagination.
That's right.
And then it's like, by keep it simple.
Yeah.
I think I'll give myself two advice or two things I'll do differently.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so one is I would have started putting aside a very strict mimosa fund. Like you can't touch it.
Yes.
You
I was like,
you
which
start
mimosa
early.
plant?
You start early in savings. So at the age of like 22 or 23, when you first start working, then religiously and in a very disciplined way, you just start to build your savings. Yeah. So the earlier you start, the better it is. And then the investment part is along the way you have to start to make a decision. What kind of investment style you want to do, right? And to again keep it consistent. I wish there were more guidance, during my time as well. And I think with those guidance, probably the confidence and the performance level will be better. So that's one. The second one, I would say that I've made an investment decision that is a terrible decision, I think. Yeah. So I used my CPF fund at some point to invest into something. And I will share with both of you in the next episode what happened to my CPF investment,
Right.
and what did I invest into that was quite shocking for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to hear the juice, spill the tea.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So yeah. So I guess that's it.
Thank you, Shirley, for joining us today.
Yeah,
And
and it won't
share-
be the last time. For
Yeah.
Sure.
I
Yes.
had a lot of fun.
And
Thank
sharing
you
your
for having me.
experiences and like your experience as a woman in the finance industry. I think it was very useful for Soap and I.
Yeah.
And-
Also because we've also just started investing ourselves.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I'm like, ooh, my feet are wet from dipping it
I'll
into
be
the
very-
finance.
I'll be very
financial.
interested to do the reverse role next time to ask you how was your investment journey process.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe ask me in 10 years.
No. I don't know where I'll be in 10 years, but if you can reach me. Sure. Yeah.
We'll hunt you down.
Oh my god. Okay.
Dangerous.
Heard it here first.
Hope y'all learned something new today. I mean, even if you're not a woman, and you're still new to investing, I'm sure there's a lot of useful information for you as well. A lot of the advice, like how there isn't a one size fits all for how you want to grow your money. I think that applies to everyone. And knowing that the CEO of Golden Equator has made a very bad investment choice before,
Wow.
isn't it comforting? I feel comforted by that.
Yeah, but
Don't
not too
you-
much though, because
I'm not like
Is that
yay.
news? I just gotta check.
I'm not like yay, like oh someone else made a mistake, but like I just feel like a bit more confident. Like oh if I made a mistake, that's fine. I can just learn from it, and you won't
die from it. You will survive.
yeah, you won't die.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And all things will pass.
Yes,
Yes.
that's right. If you guys have like any, unanswered questions that you would like to ask our CEO, please slide into our DMs on Instagram, where we'll be reading our messages 24/7.
Yes, and remember to tell us about this secret women's investing group.
Especially if it exists and we don't know, we're
Yes,
just stupid.
please tell
Yeah.
us.
That's a wrap on another episode of Keep It Simple. Leave us a review on any of our platforms and remember to subscribe to us for more episodes.
We publish every Friday because it's the best day of the week. So stay tuned and see you next time. Until then, keep it simple.